Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know what you're thinking. You've been looting the village for 3 days. This doesn't feel like a tutorial anymore. This feels like a playthrough, and we are falling asleep. I hear what you're saying. So, first thing we're going to do is show you guys how to spawn the events when they start. So I'm going to show you how to make your chances higher of spawning the Punisher or the airdrop or the heli crash when it happens. Okay. And we're going to do that by transitioning between the village, the highway, and the school. Now, the secret is to not spend more than 5 minutes after you have left the shelter in any zone. You only want to spend 5 minutes in each zone. Okay, so the fighter jets are, we're on day 3 at the moment, but it's fine. We're still going to loot. But okay, we're 1 minute into the video. Okay, so when we leave the shelter, I'm just going to equip my gun here. Make sure this is on auto. That's on auto. That's on single. Okay. So we're leaving the shelter at 1 minute and 30 seconds. That means we must leave the shelter. We got to wait until we spawn into the world. What the heck is the time? 9 o'clock at night. No, we must go to sleep. Sorry. Can we get a high? Please give me a 12 or 11. Please give me a 12 or 11. Give me a good roll. 11. Okay. That's a good roll. Okay. So now we're on day 4. We've got the cat. We are going to save the cat before day 6. Okay, we're not going to let the cat stay there for 2 days. The cat is a pain in the butt, guys. If you don't want to deal with the cat, just don't save the cat. Okay? But I'm all about immersion. I'm not going to, where you get the cat, you'll see that the cat's going to starve. Okay? If you read up here, you'll know that, it's better to go and save the cat. So we are going to save the cat at some point, and then we're going to make it part of our journey. That's probably, the fact that the cat dies so fast. I think Auntie wants you to carry the cat with you. So I'll show you how to keep the cat alive. That just adds an extra challenge to the game. I'm going to drink some juice. Now, it's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. We're probably going to pop out before 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Hopefully, there. Okay, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So we must loot. We must leave the zone at around, in the recording, we must leave the zone in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And we must make our way to a transition. Okay, we must make sure that we're close to a transition to another zone, when we get there. So let's just do this. I'm gonna remove the ammo. Don't know. Oh yeah, I need that magazine as well. I lost that magazine. That's not good value, but whatever. Make sure we didn't leave anything on the ground yet. It is quite dark, so I feel safe. But you're gonna have to move it. This is dangerous. This is dangerous, but if you want to progress, that's what you're gonna have to do. Yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. So yeah, I'm not gonna cut the video. Just gonna show you guys how I loot fast because, you know, I don't want to lose anything. I've got enough splints. It's quite dark. I'm not gonna worry about somebody shooting me in the back, but I am gonna still clear the room. And yeah, we're gonna loot the highway and the school. Okay, now I've got a very specific way of looting the highway and the school. But I'm gonna show you the quick way, the effective way, and then I'm gonna show you the extended way, because there is extended loot. There is loot that you don't necessarily have to go for. But we are gonna go for it. Okay, we are gonna go for it. So yeah, I want to loot as much as possible, and I want to get to the... These have books, guys. I don't know why these mailboxes are not helping me out, but the mailboxes do have books. Okay, and yeah, I just want to get as close to the... I want to get as close to the highway as I can to practice my 5-minute transitions. And I want to loot as much as I can. And I want to loot as much as I can. I just thought about this, you know. It doesn't help you peeking a corner if you can't see jack poop. You know, when it's so dark. No, let's put the exposure up for you guys. When it's so dark, it doesn't help you peeking a corner if you can't see anything. Okay? We're gonna put it down to that. Oh my word, another water bottle. That doesn't happen a lot, guys. That doesn't happen a lot. We are very, very lucky with the water bottles at the moment. Getting a lot of food. And yeah, you know, don't ignore the food. You don't get this amount of food everywhere. So don't ignore the food. Okay. So that's it. Okay. The time has basically passed by. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything here. But yeah, that's how fast 5 minutes goes by. That is how fast 5 minutes goes by. So you must ask yourself, did I really try and let the event spawn? You know, if you look at how long you took to loot places, did you really farm the events? Okay? Did you really farm the events? That's what you have to ask yourself. That's worth money. It's 150 bucks a piece. 180 bucks. That will help when you buy something. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the tents, and then I'm gonna go to the highway. Because if you're farming an event, you're wasting time. The event can only happen within the first 5 minutes. After that, the event won't happen. So if you're looking for an event and you play in a zone longer than 5 minutes, you're basically just wasting time. It's as simple as that. You're just wasting time. Okay. I'm not sure who shot at me now, but in any case, I'm going to keep moving. I'm definitely not going to stand still. Like, I'm supposed to go back to base now, guys, but we're going to transition. We're going to transition. And this is the transition to the highway. Just to let you know where the transition is. There's the electrical box. You know, there's the White House. There's the red car where we jump over the fence. There's the wooden cabin. There's that White House. Okay. So let's transition. And then we see what the time is when we transition. But yes, when you're farming events, when you're trying to let an event happen, which is effective, I mean, you've got a choice. You can try and get the Punisher or an airdrop or a heli crash. And remember, heli crash gives you a special crate. The only way to get a special crate without going to Vostok or the terminal is a heli crash or a key. And there are only 3 keys. There's the tunnel key, the cellar key, and the gymnasium key. And all 3 of them are legendary. So really, really rare. You know, so getting a heli crash is great because you get a chance to find epic weapons. Epic loot. Getting the Punisher is great because one of the Punisher has 3 loot pools. One of them is going to give you 3 beers. Really difficult to find the 6 beers that you want. The other one is going to give you 2 sinuses. We have already got one of the sinuses. You need 3 for a quest. And then the other one's not that important, but take like the airdrops. Not all the airdrops gives you medkits, which is crucial for your survival, plus water, plus other stuff. But the one that is extremely important is the one that gives you 2 antiseptic and 2 salines. Salines are very difficult to find, just like beer, because they're rare. But if you get that one airdrop, you get 2 salines and 2 antiseptics. Those 2 salines are extremely important because it helps you to make the Killdew, which lets you open the attic. Okay? Whether you're interested in the attic or not. But in any case, I'm going through the loot route now. Now, there are a lot of things that you can loot in the highway. You can go straight down and straight up and do whatever route you want to do. But the highway, I don't like the highway in the same way I don't like the towers in the minefield and I don't like the silos in the terminal. I don't like being exposed and not having a lot of room to move. So I don't like going and looting in the highway because there's just a few vehicles. And for a vehicle to give me something that I can't find anywhere else is very, very low. Maybe there's like spawn points there, but the highway is very dangerous because that's where a lot of the AI is going to be. And you're in a ditch. Okay, the highway is like on lower ground, and there's you're very open. So the only time I'll go into the highway is for the tunnel key, but I don't like being in. I don't like looting on the highway. I feel it's dangerous and exposed. I don't like going onto the towers for the few little military crates because you have to run up the tower in a staircase without movement, and if like 2 soldiers come running at you while you're on that staircase, you're dead. You've got no cover. You're running on a staircase with like frame pieces. You are dead. If you're running up the silo at the terminal and 2 soldiers, spot you, you're dead as well. Okay, so I don't like the running inside the highway. I don't like going up the towers of the minefield, and I don't like going up the silos at the terminal. The only time that I will go up the silos at the terminal is when I kill all 10 soldiers, which isn't that bad. But killing all 10 soldiers at the minefield is very tedious because of the mines. Okay, so this is my loot route that I do to to loot the highway effectively, to get the most out of the highway. And to get the most out of the highway, because we know, if you watch my previous guides, you will know that the village highway school just focuses on industrial and civilian loot. So I want to have a chance to to loot as much civilian containers as I can, and to look at as much industrial loot spawners as I can for the oil filter. And that's why I loot the highway. And when I go to the school, I'm going to show you guys that I've got a very simplistic way of looting the school, but there is something extra I can do at the school to maybe get more guns and maybe, find more loot, but it does take time and it is risky. But for now, I'm just going to show you how I usually do it, which I feel is safe. So I'm going to run down, this is where we start. We're going to run down this road. There's a gas station in front of us. And there's usually a bandit at the gas station. Okay, so I'm just going to run to these trees. And I'm going to look for any movement at the gas station. There isn't really any loot at the gas station, but I can show you guys the gas station quickly. Like, there's quite a lot of trees here, so it's not the most dangerous place in the world. There is a lot of cover, which is nice. I'm not hearing anyone, which makes me think I'm safe. Like, there are bodies to search, but someone's usually here. At least one bandit. But as you guys can see, that's about it. Maybe there's loot spawners here, but I haven't spent enough time here to, see if it's really worth looting this place. To me, it's not. There aren't really a lot of loot containers. Okay, there's someone in front of me. And then this is the tape. You can literally just follow the tape. I don't like following the tape, but you can follow the tape if you want to. And there's a guy. Takes 3 shots with this gun because the gun does 40 damage. A guy has 100 health. A bandit or a soldier has 100 health. So if you don't hit, if you don't get the headshot, you can kill him with 3 normal shots. And that. Okay, now someone's shooting at us again. I'm not sure from where. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's dead. Okay. So yeah, you can check the gas station if you want to, but I'm literally just following the tape down here, going over the highway. This is the edge of the map. No one can shoot you from this side. You can't even enter there. You can only get shot from that side. Okay, so I cross the highway. I'm not even going to worry about that guy's body. I'm going to get exposed there. See what gun he had. A Mosin. Let's put this loot over here. The only reason to loot the Mosin is for the ammo, but those are only 2 shots. And there's a military crate, yeah. That military crate has like a 1% chance to give you a legendary item. But if you don't loot them, you'll never know. Now you must be careful again. This is the marketplace, the fish factory. This is the place that I like to loot. But again, there's a bandit spawn point there. There's a bandit spawn point in the parking lot, and there are bandit spawn points inside the fish factory. So you need to be careful. That they can come out of that door. There's an entrance to the fish factory. I don't enter there, but I'm aware that I'm exposed. I can hear them inside the fish factory. Then I just crouch down. I'm always looking at that door because they come out of the door. Then I'm just looking underneath the truck to see if I can see any movement. And I take this route because they can't come through here. They can come around there because there's a door here, but they can't open these doors. So I'm I'm a bit safe at the moment. I'm just going to check if they're next to the building. Okay, no, they're inside the building. And I want to loot these red containers because they've got industrial loot spawners and military loot spawners. See, there's an inverter. I'll take the inverter. But you can also find the oil filter in here. Every single red container, you can find a military crate. And you can find industrial loot. And then there's more there in front of me. But now I'm going to do the market. There's 2 more red containers there. But I mean, the fish market is the place that I'm focusing on because there's a lot of spawn points, you know, loot in here in a very closed environment.
Kellen tehdään yhtä röökiä. Saatana!
Okay, and that's that. Gonna make sure no one else spawns close to me, because every time you kill a bandit, another bandit can spawn. Okay, so just making sure I don't hear anyone else talking, I don't hear any other movement, okay? Close the doors. There is a fireplace out there if you need a fireplace for mental. And yeah, that's 2. You can count how many things we're gonna loot, and there's industrial loot on the ground. We're gonna count how many things we can loot in a very, very small area. Okay? We're not gonna count the bandits. We're not interested about the bandits. RK95. We need 2 magazines because we lost the 2 previous magazines. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. You see loot on the ground. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, 35. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. I'm just going to close this door. Eight, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 'Going to go upstairs, so we're on 70 at the moment. We're not going into that factory floor yet. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, score that 80, probably missed one or two. And now you must be careful when you come in here, because a bandit can be waiting for you in here. It's usually a bandit that camps in here. Okay, no camper. Okay, so we're on 80, right? We're on 80. There can be industrial loot that spawns on the floor. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 'Check on the ground. You can find an oil filter here. 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Okay, we could probably stop counting, guys. We could probably stop counting. Okay, 100 loot containers in one building. And you can find very good loot here, especially ammo. Like, I find a lot of ammo here. I feel it feels weird that we didn't find a lot of ammo here, but you can find a lot of ammo here. Okay, but that's 100 loot containers in one building. So definitely a building that I don't want to ignore. Now, I have looted this place a lot. And out of the village, like, I will come here because I do believe you can find some really cool stuff here. You can find the oil filter. There's a lot of, if you go to roadtovostok.org and you look at all the industrial loot, ground loot spawners here, you can find oil filter here. You can find a guitar or a harmonica. I'm just saying, with my experience, it's not a must to loot the highway. Okay, even with this building, with all the loot points, like getting, like farming AI, getting, killing bandits for their guns and their ammo, and like collecting, like if you want to kill everyone on the highway, fine. There's going to be a few guys with Mosins. You can get the Mosin ammo from them so that you can use the Mosin. But when it comes to finding loot effectively, the school building for me is really, really good, especially because you can get the classroom key by just going to fetch 3 oil filters. Okay, so the school is by far number 1 for me. I found the harmonica there, I found Celine there, I found Afax there. The best room in the entire game is there, the gymnasium. So when it comes to the best loot in a closed environment, I'd say the school is first. If it comes to the most containers in one area, the fish factory. But if I want to farm civilian items, and there's a lot of civilian items, most of your tasks are civilian, I will farm the village and the school. And if I want to, and you can get the oil filter from the generalist. You check. So yes, you can come here for the red containers, maybe find an oil filter in the red container, but there's more than enough industrial loot points at the generalist. Like if you loot the red building, if you loot around the generalist every single time you enter the village, you're gonna find the oil filter and industrial loot at some point. So the village and the school is definitely the best for me. When it comes to the safest military loot, the outpost and the minefield are the safest way for me to try and get military loot, but without the towers. I'll show you guys when I go to the minefield. There are, when you enter the minefield, there are military containers that are easy, except when the helicopter comes, then it's not easy anymore. But I'd say the outpost. The outpost has got a few military containers and it's the safest. But again, if I want to complete 30 tasks, I'm going to have to farm the, Vostok in the terminal. But in any case, let's keep on looting. Like, you get a lot of ammo here, guys. Like, I've looted this place like 10 times in Iron Man. And I must say, you do get a lot of ammo most of the time, and ammo is a really good currency. Okay, that's what I don't like about the pro scope. The pro scope just, it's difficult to see in front of you with the bloody pro scope. Out of space, goodness flipping gracious. And there's random, like, I have found an SOS kit on the ground over here. They are really random. I mean, like, I've never seen a battery here, but I know I've seen an SOS kit here. So there are some serious random loot spots in this parking lot. Like, I can't even call it a loot explosion because it's usually just one item. it's usually just one item, which is very, very weird. In my Iron Man challenge, I found one SOS kit lying there in the middle of nowhere, and now I find a battery lying in the middle of nowhere. You know, and you always think like maybe there was a loot explosion in a car. Maybe there was a loot explosion in a car. I'm not sure. Maybe this loot explosion, you know, bugs out or something like that. But in any case, let's get to the school. And then I'll show, I mean, most of you guys know the school. But I'm going to show you the extra, you know, the extra things you can do at the school. The extra things you can loot at the school. Okay, here we go. We're entering the northeast side of the map. The school's in front of us. This open sports field here is, in my opinion, not worth to loot. Again, I haven't walked through the place enough to see if there's anything really cool. But we're not going to waste time. We're just gonna go to the school, and then I'm going to show you the extra loot spot. Usually you come from there. Actually, it will be better for me to explain it to you from there. You know, yeah, you can go around. There's loot point. There's a few greenhouses to loot, and then you can come in from the back. But we're going to enter the school as if we're coming from the village side. Okay. It's going to be easier to explain my route if we come in from the village. Okay, so here we are, okay? That is the entrance to the village. Basically, if you come from your shelter down the train tracks and you've got the generous trader in front of you, you just follow the train tracks until you hit the yellow tape. Go left against the yellow tape, and then you're going to hit this at some point, and this is how you're going to enter the school. So with the school, there's usually a bandit there, and they could be a bandit in the forest over there, and they like running into that little house over there, okay? But my basic loot route is loot this house because I don't want to get shot from there. So clear that house, clear that building very carefully, make sure nobody shoots me from the back. Go down the highway and loot the school. But I'm going to show you an extra step that can help you a lot with guns and stuff. Gonna clear this house out first. Okay, there doesn't seem to be anyone inside, but you must still be careful because there could be a bandit. Now, they could be a bandit there somewhere, okay? So you must still be careful. Just check the rubbish bags. Okay. You can find loot on the ground here as well, so just make sure you never ever skip the ground. Even with the school, when I started looting the school, I skipped the classrooms. I didn't look on the ground in the classrooms, and I promise you guys I missed a lot of loot, okay? You can almost never skip the ground loot if you want to loot effectively. Now be very, very careful because bandits love running into this little round thing over here. Trust me, they love camping in this little place over here. So I will never run past this place. I will always make sure that no one's camping in here. Okay, now this is where the difference comes in. You can basically just run across the highway, kill whoever's in front of the school, kill whoever you see underneath the bridge, loot the school, go down before you go to the outpost there. You can go downhill to like an artillery thing there and get the military loot. That is the usual route. But now we're going to add an extra step, okay? We're going to come down here. And we're going to target those houses. Falling down there is not a good idea. So we're just going to run down here. I'm sure there's an easier way to get down there, guys. I'm just going to see if anyone shoots at me. And then I'm going to see if we are going to hurt ourselves down here. No. Okay? Be careful. You can definitely get shot at. But looting these is not going to be profitable a lot of the time. But it can be profitable. Okay? If you're really looking for guns, this is a good way to do it. Okay, so we've got a 45% KAM, and we've got a 51%. That's $1,000 right there. Okay, that's $1,000 right there. If we take the pistols, if we look at the pistols that we dropped, $400, 600, 800. About $800 there. So that gun is better. But if you want to find military loot, this is the extra step that I was talking about. But it's your choice whether you want to do this extra step. That's completely your choice. Because it is dangerous down here. You're gonna run into bandits down here regularly, I can promise you that. Regularly. Which means you'll probably die more regularly going for this loot. But yeah, and then of course you can get the tents. If you don't come underneath the bridge, you're never going to loot the 3 tents. And there's not a lot of tents in the game. There are not a lot of tents in the game. Like there's a fireplace over here, will help you in winter. But once again, there's not a lot of tents. There's like a limited amount of tents, you know. So if you like the loot that tents give you, and again, you know, you are now very, very, very exposed. Very, very, very exposed. That's why I usually don't do it. But that first place that I saw with the guns, that's quite cool. And now you're just entering the place differently. Usually you come over the highway. Now you're coming in like this. Which feels very, very weird. So yeah, that's your choice, guys. If you ask me, maybe not. You know, maybe not.
Söisköhän se 3? Haasta paska!
Okay. Don't know why you're not gonna cover your friend, but whatever. Now I'm listening for more movement because every time I kill a bandit, another bandit spawns in. Think I heard a step, not sure. Don't know what weapon this guy had. It's not important. Be very careful of this corner. They can camp here. They can definitely camp here around this corner. I'm going to close the doors. The corridors are probably the most dangerous. Like, fighting in the corridors is probably the most dangerous place you can be. I think I heard someone walk, but I'm not sure. Check there. There are bandit spawns over there. I'm just gonna drop this gun to see, get the ammo from this gun. And now you can clear out the place. You can clear out the place if you want to. Have your automatic weapon ready. It's going to be way more effective killing them with an automatic weapon. I'm going to take it slow here, guys, because these places are dangerous. Okay? These places are very, very, very dangerous. And like this, I skipped the schools. You understand, guys? You understand what I'm saying? I skipped the schools, and it was really dumb. Now there's someone above me, but look at the loot. If you don't check the ground, look at that. Just look at that. 87%. Okay, if you don't search the ground, you are gonna miss a lot of loot. Okay, those could have been cigarettes. I'm just gonna eat that. That's just salty licorice for a bit of mental. But yeah, you know, I did it. I did it in the first, I don't know, 50 hours of playing this game. I never looked on the ground here. I was like, no man, that's a waste of time. And it's not a waste of time, guys. It's not a waste of time. Okay? And that's where patience comes in. That's definitely where patience comes in. Because if you're not patient, you're going to miss that loot. You are going to miss that loot. And make sure that that some doors are open for you, so that you don't, if somebody starts shooting at you in that hallway, make sure you can use something as cover. It doesn't take long scanning the ground. It really doesn't take long scanning the ground. Yeah, I scanned the ground. Doesn't take so long, but it makes a major difference. Again, look to your left with the flashlight, look to your right. That's it, you scan the room. That can let you find really good items, and it's not going to waste a lot of time.
Sinulla sattuu tämmöisiä liköörikonetteja olemaan.
And you can find loot on the ground. These habits will help you a lot right through the game. Like in Vostok. Some people don't, like, I have created a game where looting Vostok completely is a waste of time for me. But, you know, like, I transition to the minefield, and then I transition to Vostok, and then I loot the outside, and I only loot like one apartment block because looting the apartment blocks are boring. But every time I transition to the minefield and back, that's 4 hours. Think about that when you are trying to do 30 tasks in 30 days. If you are using the minefield to refresh Vostok, or you're using the terminal to refresh Vostok, or you're using Vostok to refresh the terminal, that's 4 hours, because I'm only looting the outside. I'm only looking for the special crates on the outside of Vostok, not inside the apartments. And then sometimes I loot 2 apartments out of the 7, but then I transition again. Every time I want to refresh Vostok, 2 hours to the minefield, 2 hours back. That's 4 hours. And sometimes I try and refresh Vostok like 3 times. That's 12 hours, guys, that you wasted, which you could have been looting. So you can do it the way I did it in the Iron Man challenge, but when it comes to refreshing Vostok, whether you are refreshing Vostok to just loot the outside for the special crates, or whether you're looting the entire place. Now, looting the entire place in a video or while you're streaming is extremely boring, but if you're trying to do the challenge, it's actually more effective because there are 89 special crate spawn points in Vostok, and each of them have a 10% chance to spawn. So looting Vostok completely is not only better for the amount of special crates you can find, but there is a ton, like the ground loot that I'm talking about. I have found 2 KP31s on the ground. 2 in an apartment. Not in a special crate, not in a military crate, on the ground. Literally on the ground. Like that loot there, I've walked into an apartment in Vostok and saw 2 KP31s on the ground. I found the K416 on the ground. So not only if you loot all the apartments in Vostok, not only is your chance of finding special crates higher, but the chances of finding epic loot is higher. Yeah? And then you can, of course, just clear. You can, of course, just clear, you know. He's outside. That sound is stairs. The sound that you guys just heard is stairs. I'm gonna close the door because a bandit can literally spawn in the corridor. Because I killed the bandit now, they can be a bandit anyway. But yeah, you know, knowing that those are sounds of steps is quite important. Now, I have to just look for that door and this door over here. Those are the only 2 doors that I have to be careful of on the top floor. Okay, I'm safe. Sleeping bag. What do we need the sleeping bag for again? Lumber, toolbox, mattress, blanket, pillow. Oh, for this. Mattress and sleeping bag. No, those aren't too difficult to find. Not too difficult. Let's just go. Cigarettes. There we find a task item on the ground, guys. We have literally just found a task item on the ground because we were focusing on the ground. And cigarettes is a rare item. We have just found a rare item on the ground. So you can find a legendary item on the ground. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. That extra route that I showed you underneath the bridge, not worth it, guys. Not worth it. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. It's not worth it. Not worth it at all. Like, there's enough guns. Guns aren't that hard to find, okay? So, yeah, that loot spot, you know, expose yourself like that instead of just going over the breach. Just, guys can do it. I showed you that, but you're not gonna see me do that again. You're definitely not gonna see me do that again. I like getting furniture, or like, and then wipes. Apparently, still sells you a task item, so wipes is a task item.
Nythän meillä löytyi jo synergiaa.
Okay, now we're just gonna mark all these tasks. Oh, it gives you tissue. You don't need tissues, it gives you tissues when you give him duct tape. But again, every time you get to a trader, we've got the 4 books. We lost the cigars. We've got the 4 books. We've got the game. We've got batteries. We only need a Polaris. I'm just going to make sure I add everything. So we've got duct tape. We lost that, unfortunately. We've got all 4 books. We've got the game. We only needed to find a Polaris, which isn't that difficult. We've got antiseptic. We've got antibiotics. We don't have the Salines, but again, that's why I want the Punisher. The harmonica is very difficult. That's a legendary item. You can only find that item by finding the gymnasium key, which is legendary, which is extremely hard. And then you can open up the classroom key by going for the oil samples. I've seen people do stupid things, you know, for bragging rights. It's not that hard to run to the. It's really not that hard running to the terminal, but again, you know, you can do it safely by just waiting until day 10. You know, having a rig, armor, helmet, an ACOG sight. Like going in there without an ACOG sight is quite stupid. But in any case, just wait until day 10. You can go get the oil samples. Okay, guys, you're not gonna die. Okay?
Hyvänen aika, teillä on naama ihan
It's not that
turvoksissa.
bad.
Mikäs miestä vaivaa?
We need the wipes. Okay, there's someone underneath us. We need the wipes from. You can always go down because it's you added the task from the bottom to the top.
Ei kaikki
So we
taudit
need
ole kuolemaksi.
cigarettes and matches. We've got that. Pillow, lotion, and painkillers. We already did that. Deodorant, wipes there. Okay, that's why we need the wipes, but we're gonna have to find the deodorant. Lumber toolbox, we need the toolbox there. We need the beers. We need to kill the Punisher. We've got the battery cables, inverter, jerry can. We just need the oil filter there. You know, that we need the Punisher, or we need the airdrop for the 2 Celines, and then we need to find another Celine. You will find a Celine at the school. So we're doing quite good. We're doing quite well. I know we're behind at the moment, but I mean, it says 3 tasks in 4 days. But I mean, we can already see that that's 1, we've got it.
On säitä
2,
pidellyt, joo.
3, 4, 5. So we're on 8 tasks, technically. Technically, we're on 8 tasks in 4 days. Okay? Not too bad. Now it's 6 o'clock at night. And yeah, if you want to reset the school without having the attic, you are going to waste time, but we're just going to go to sleep, guys. We're just going to go to sleep. It's going to take, the transition is going to be an hour.
On säitä pidellyt.
Transitioning is going to be an hour. So yeah, we're just going to go to sleep. How did we miss this? How did we not loot this? How? Okay, I have to work. Looks like when I clear the corridor, I don't go through the door. It's very important to go through the door to loot the place properly. I think I heard someone out here. But I mean, it is nighttime. It shouldn't be that dangerous. And then, yes, there's a military crate over there. Make sure this place is clear. The one that's closed off is going to give you the 2 plastic bags, okay? If you don't want to look for ground loot, if you just want, I want to search something, the ones with the closed window is what you want to look for. So now we're just going to quickly go for the... There's a book inside there, it's fine. Okay, I'll put... Okay, so we're just gonna go get the military container. Down here. That's how you get to the outpost. Just follow the highway. So here's the artillery down here. You get a bandit spawn on the ground. And then you get a military container here. Which, if you skip it, you know, like most of the time, 99% of the time, it's not going to have anything in it. But that one time you skip it, it could have, you know, something epic. And then they could be loot in the vehicle, but I don't go for this thing. I've never really found anything in this thing. And like I'm exposed at all the windows, which I don't like. But you can find industrial looting here, but there's a ton of these containers in Vostok. That's why I don't loot this one, because there's a ton of them in Vostok. So why am I risking my life for that one? And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's nighttime. I'll see you guys, you know, on day 4. I'll see you guys back at the shelter. You know, bullet points. When you loot the school, don't go down there. Really, if you want to go down there just for the possibility of those guns, it's not worth it. So you start there, clear the building, clear the little roundhouse, come down here, clear the school, check the military crate, and there's other loot, but again, not worth it for me. So if you guys enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and click that like button. If you want me to show you anything in particular, like you waiting for me to show you something, you know, put it down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. It's possible that there's a... Never mind. I wanted to say that it's possible that a guy's inside that little thing. But it's dark. So I'm gonna use the darkness to just get to the shelter. See you guys next time. Cheers.